All right, we back at it, man. We had some solid setups play out this week. Here I just want to show inside the Discord. We had some signals that hit take profit. UJ hit our TP1 of 95 pips before pulling back. All right, then we also had GU here. You see GU here hit TP2 155 pips, and I had a sell stop. I gave out a sell stop on GJ. That did ended up hitting stop. It was a lot of manipulation that happened with GJ this week, but I will cover and show you how I was still able to catch that move, a little drop that it had to end the week, and a few other pairs that we caught towards the tail end of the week. All right. So getting right to it, just like always, starting with the dollar index. So the dollar is ending this week. It's ending this week a bit bullish. Because initially you see here on the daily, price pushed into this zone. So if we look to the left, all right, this is a previous level, strong level of demand there. All right, then price is now at this level, came to this level, rejected from the level, and now it's closing bullish. So it's going to be interesting to see, how dollar rose into this week, because we do have a bit of a bullish engulfing here on the daily. And if we look at this on the weekly, it's closing bullish, and also factoring in this previous weekly candle that did close strong bullish, rejecting from a significant area of structure. By looking to the left, all right, we had this strong level of supply, and then price right here did find some support. All right, so at the same level, we just found support, and now price is going bullish. All right, so I am leaning towards dollar overall to be bullish. All right, even if the dollar did come up here and pull back some, I'll still anticipate that the setup for continue wave up. So it's either we'll get the pullback, or we could just see dollar continue to break above this level, and then we can see dollar continue in that direction. All right, so looking at GU, man, if you guys remember, if you check last week's Forex cast, all right, I was anticipating dollar to correct up before continuing down, because we see here on the weekly, we did get this strong evening star rejection here from that level of supply. All right, so I was still leaning towards sales on GU before, but I was expecting a pullback to happen first. So see, price did give us this correction. So this pullback is the buy signal that I was able to give out. All right, because once I saw price did a fake out, we had a false break right here. This was a false break because price had an impulsive bullish engulfing impulsive close right back above that level. All right, so on this pullback is where I gave the signal, and we was able to catch that wave. But you could see it gave you more than one opportunity. It pumped up, slight pullback here, that was an entry, pumped up again. Slight pullback here, that was another potential entry, and then it completed that correction that I was looking for to this point of structure. So this is a previous lower low within structure. All right, because before price had the big move, we could see price actually came up and retested. All right, we retested previous structure there and then continued. So this is the point that I was looking for price to come into the zone. You see, we came into the zone, ended the week bearish. All right, so I'm interested to see how price continues into next week. I am leaning towards starting to look towards sales again. We can see here on the daily, this daily candle is closed a bit bearish engulfing. All right, so it is showing signs of potential bears to go into the week. So I will start to look for potential sales here on GU. All right, because we can see right here, I'll take, it's pretty much formed like a bearish flag here. Corrective move. And you can see we had an impulsive breakdown. We had a breakdown, slight pullback, and a continued breakdown. So this is the 4-hour chart, and we see we got this bearish engulfing. All right, so going into next week, I would like to see price hold below here. All right, definitely below the bearish engulfing, but specifically definitely below, that wick, because we look at this on the daily. Basically, I'm expecting it to stay below this bearish candle if the to make the sell bias continue. All right, so we can look at this on a smaller time frame, and on this pullback, if price pulls back some, I would say look for price to get a continuation setup towards the downside. All right, something like that. Okay, so price could correct first. So my first target will be taking it back down to this low. All right, at least on the sell. All right, now expecting it to go lower. If this is the sell, if this is the correction that we were looking for, I would expect price to go even lower. I would expect it to come down here, and break below that level and continue even further into this zone. All right, looking at the zone on the daily, this zone here. All right, now of course, if price comes down and breaks through there, then we can expect price to continue even further. All right, but all in all, going into the week, looking for potential continued bears on GU. All right, now EU, similar here as well. So we can look at this on a weekly. All right, with dealing with the prior week with FOMC and everything, NFP. All right, you can see here on the weekly, price came up, it rejected there with that shooting star type pattern, rejecting from supply to the left. Always look left to go right. This was the level that price had a big fall. Some will call it order block, bearish order block, but this is, supply, same thing. Price had a breakdown. Now, if we look to the left, price is beginning to break back below this major level of demand. All right, this is the zone I have drawn up here. It's a big level of buyers. Okay, but I still would be looking towards. If I'm looking at this on a weekly, this is bearish still. It's still looking bearish, even though we had a big correction up after such a bearish trend. Now it's showing signs of potential continued play to the downside. And this monthly candle close in 17 days. So let's say this week coming, let's say the week coming continues bearish, and maybe the week even after that. And that's just going to make this monthly candle close that much more bearish, potentially bearish engulfing. And if that's the case, then this is setting up for a much bigger drop if this monthly candle close strong bearish as well. All right. So what I would do, we just trade in line with structure within that week. So now going to the daily, you can see prices beginning to break below that level there. All right. So we can also take a trend line here. I could look at it from this perspective. All right. All right. So really where price is at now, we are getting that potential breakdown. All right. Price is beginning to also break our trend line there. Okay. And we see here, I'm seeing here on the 4-hour, price technically just closed below the low. It just closed here. This closed slightly below this wick. All right, slightly below. All right, so I would like to see more of a breakdown. But the way it's developing now, especially let's say dollar continues bullish, then this is definitely setting up to continue down. Because if we look at this on the daily, all right, and we see what price did initially when it pulled up and retested this previous level of structure, all right, which is a higher low that price broke. All right, because in this uptrend, or this bigger corrective move, it was moving, higher lows, higher highs. All right, so we just broke that higher low, which is a sign of reversal or a sign to the downside. So what price did, it came back, pulled back, retested that, and rejected. All right, so now this daily candle for this week, today, at the closing market, we see price formed a bearish engulfing. All right, so that's a good sign that the sellers are coming in. So now going into this week, going into the following or the next trading week, I will be anticipating price to continue bearish. All right, so maybe some type of pullback. All right, on any type of pullback, look for price to continue down. So I'm looking at this based off the daily too. So I would expect for this to stay bearish this week, or at least sooner than later, without pulling back even further. I would expect price to stay below below this bearish candle. All right, so you can even measure out this candle if you want with the fib. All right, early next week, I would like to see some type of pullback of that, maybe 38.2 to 50% of that candle, that bearish engulfing candle. All right, somewhere within here, I'd like to see some type of pullback, and then look for price to continue. All right, look for price to continue down. So the area that I would look for price to continue down to next, if it continues to the downside, will be here. This will be my target. All right. Now, if price comes down there and continues to break this level, then that's a sign we're going to go even lower. All right. So we just got to trade in line with structure and just be patient and allow Allow the market to come to us. Gold. So gold as well is setting up. All right, definitely still bearish on gold. You know, when I sent this out, I caught some of this buy as well, was able to catch some of this corrective move up. And I was looking for ideally for price to come back to push within a retest of structure. But now seeing how this week is ending, seeing how it closed bearish, because even, you know, you see we got this big evening star here on the weekly. All right, so all signs is pointing towards continued potential sales. All right, and I can also look at this to the left. All right, this is a level of like resistance or supply right there that you could look for. Here, this is a level here. All right, so now if we go down to the daily, you see price is now closing below that. If we go down to the daily, price pulled up, but then we got this shooting star type rejection here on the daily. A nice indication, bearish engulfing there on the daily. A nice indication that sellers are coming back in. And the fact that we had a pullback, a retest, and price closing back below this level, because we look to the left, like I said, this is a level of resistance as well, where price had a big fall. All right, so this could be the top of where we get an even bigger fall going into next week. So now, same thing, price pretty much formed, you know, this bearish flag, corrective flag right here. All right. And we can see right here, price pulled up and then we had a breakdown. So we broke below this flag. All right. So on this pullback, if it pulls back here on these pullbacks, I would say look for the potential continuation play. For this to be the drop, I would like to see price definitely stay below this bearish engulfing candle on the daily. All right. So I would either look for on this pullback early next week, you know, look for price to go, or you can wait and see if price want to continue down. All right. Because if it comes down, continues down, forming a lower low here, then it's definitely a sign that we're going lower. You can continue to look for the potential pullback, corrective plays for the continuation, and just continue to ride that wave. Because if we're looking at this based off the daily and the weekly, I mean, we have a lot of potential room to go further, a lot of potential room. So, you know, I would look somewhere within here, really probably down towards 1800 would be a major level as well. So somewhere within here, this is a major level that I would look at as well. All right. For price to potentially return to. Because if we hold below the zone, I just drew up here. All right. If this is just a pullback, the breakdown, then this could definitely come back down towards 1800. All right. Now, of course, if we break through that level, then it's even further because we look to the left. This is a level that it broke through, came back, retested as resistance, continued. So it's all about price action and market structure. Here, this was a level of demand, right? It was a level of demand here before breaking it, retest, continuation. All right, eventually it broke back above it. But so this is how I look at structure to take these setups. All right, so going into next week, potential sell continuation on gold. All right, now GJ was real choppy this week. Now if we look at this, it's real choppy. All right, but this play right here was a play that was called this sell, this play that gave us this nice drop. All right, so we see we came down towards some demand area. Price found support and bounced up. I remember I was able to catch some of this correction up, caught some of this correction up about 100 pips, and price rose. Came right back to previous level of structure. All right, rejected as resistance and broke down. All right, so what price did is it came back up. So initially, this is what I was looking for. When I caught the sell stop, this is what I was looking for. I was looking for price to come back, all right, and retest here. All right, come back and retest. So you see, looking at this price action, price rejected, retest, broke down. All right, so on this pullback and retest within here, I was looking for the continuation. So they did some manipulation. All right, they did a liquidity press. And if I look at this, this candlestick right here, this candlestick was crazy. It stopped. The sell stop was actually hit. Went in profit for about 50 pips. All right, so if you're looking at it, I mean, you could at least took profit real quick, or put your stop loss at break even. But you see it came all the way back and then went up further and then just dropped again even further. All right, to the areas I was looking for. So really, I was able to still catch the next move as well. All right, this play here, because you could see here that price just had a deeper pullback and then just continued. All right, so really, once I saw this rejection on the 4-hour as well, I could draw my fib from there to there. It rejected about the 78.6. And then I see this evening star rejection here on the 4-hour. I was looking for my sales there. I was still anticipating the drop, because if we look at this on the weekly, all price was doing was retesting that evening star. You see, I got my zone drawn around 160. All right, that's a key level of structure. But you see, we had this major evening star rejection on the weekly. So that's a sign of bigger sell. But if you see this on the weekly, chances are price is going to pull back of that first and then continue. All right, so that's what happened. This was just a pullback of that for the continuation. So I was still anticipating that. So I was able to go on the smaller time frame, and I took that scenario here. All right, I entered around here. All right, and price dropped over 100 pips. You can see this move right here. All right, price dropped almost 200 pips. All right, and after that, it did pull back. So it's been real choppy and volatile. Dropped over almost 200 pips, and then it pulled back almost 140 pips. You know what I mean? So sometimes you got to take what you can get. But even going into this week and looking how price is developing now, I would like to say that it's still going to set up for another wave down, because what price did is it found support basically roughly around this level of support. It found support there, bounced up. All right, but if I'm looking at this on a daily, this is a range. All right, price is basically, after this drop, price is now ranging right here. All right, but this daily candle, still a bit bearish. It's still a bit of a bearish engulfing. All right, so I would like to see, we could get possibly on this pullback, you see the trend line break. On this pullback retest, we could see another wave down, possibly back to the support or down towards these lows, down towards 157, before then possibly rising even further. All right. Because another thing is, it is another big week this week dealing with the dollar. We got I believe we got CPI. We got CPI, yeah, we got CPI and we got PPI. So it's another big week here with the dollar. All right, as far as fundamentally. So the dollar and the yen, the yen is a safe haven currency, but the dollar and yen tends to trade opposite. They trade inverse. So usually if you see the dollar pumping crazy, you'll see yen weakness come in. So when this sold off, all right, this is signifying yen strength. And then at the same time, the dollar was selling off. All right. So let's say the dollar goes in and starts pumping. All right, then we possibly can see this set up for this to pump and get some yen weakness. But maybe we get a drop first before dollar continues to pump and possibly set that up. So we just gotta, just trade what we see and just be patient. Now EURUSD was a beautiful play. And you can see, just so you can see, I sent this out real quick. I sent this out in the Discord right here. So sometimes I'll send a good setup. Hold on one second. Okay, I'll send a good setup, and I might not be an exact signal, but it's an opportunity that you could take. Okay, it's an opportunity you could take. So I sent this out here. Let me see. Okay, well, basically, I sent this out showing this is a potential retest opportunity for the continued breakdown. You can see right here, price just played out beautifully and just tanked. Now, this is when it comes. I'm a technical trader, but I understand when it's certain fundamentals on the chart, the fundamentals is just coming in to just drive the value. So I knew that CAD unemployment news was coming out. I knew it was a chance for a good setup. And when I started seeing how some of these pairs were setting up with CAD, I was like, okay, from a technical perspective, I like it anyways. And this is likely probably going to set up for some CAD strength. All right, so this is one of those scenarios where it played out beautifully, because if I'm looking at EURUSD right here, you can see price was bearish. You know, if I look on the daily, all right, if I look to the left, price fell from this same level. Always look left to go right. This is a major level of supply when price had a big fall. All right. So what price did is it came to the same level, had another drop. All right. So if I'm going down to the smaller time frame, let's say the 4-hour, price dropped from this top level of supply, and then it broke down, continued to break down here. So if we look into the left, price broke structure. We broke structure support, fell down. Now I saw price retesting. I'm still bearish. Plus, I know CAD news is coming. I saw the rejection. All right. I entered my sell. Right. Enter the sell with stop loss above structure. I was looking for this at least come to this low and even further. So that just pushed CAD extremely like bearish and just boom, straight drop. So from that retest, price fell 200 plus pips. All right. The break of structure and retest is a real simple way to trade. All right. I would believe you could teach a child to do it, because I see this bearish flag that was forming on this retest. All right. This bearish flag here started getting a breakdown here. Price started breaking down right here. All right. Throw my moving averages on. I'm on the 1 hour. Throw my moving averages on. I see the moving average beginning to cross over, the red, 18 beginning to cross over pretty much at the same time as the breakout right here. So I was entering my sell, my stop loss above structure, and boom, got that nice drop. Beautiful play. All right. So you just keep it simple for real. Same thing happened with GBP CAD. You know, it's just CAD strength. So now I'm going into this week. Big bearish engulfing on the daily. All right. So I'm definitely still bearish on this. Big bearish engulfing on the daily. Big bearish push on the weekly. And you can see where price pushed down to. We pushing into a major level of demand. So if price breaks this level, it's a sign that you're going further. Because if you look here, price was demand here too until it broke and retested right here and then continue. So if price comes down here and breaks through here, I will look for the retest and continuation. All right. Just keep it that simple. All right. Either wait for price to just continue and break and then pull back, or before that happens, we could possibly see this pullback first. So the ideal level of structure I would look for is previous structure low. All right, the area where the previous low that it just broke. All right, so you could possibly see something like this. You could possibly see price come back. Retest possibly, and then continue. All right, but overall, based off of that big engulfing candle on the daily, definitely will only look for sells on that. All right. And then, you know, you can also throw your trend line on here. So, of course, if price was to break down, break below here, it will confluence because it will possibly break through the trend line too. Let's continue to ride that wave. And you can see GBP CAD did the same thing. All right. Price had a big breakdown here, slight pullback, continue. Bearish engulfing on the daily formed. All right. Price just came. Initially, we had a break from supply up here. Price broke below structure here, slight retest, continuation. So this was a deeper pullback, lining up. CAD news came out, boom, big drop. Same thing here. You got the bearish flag. You throw your counter trend line. Price is breaking down. You start looking for your sales. All right, stop loss above structure here as well. You got the moving averages crossing. Boom. News come out, gave it that extra push. 200 plus pip play. Simple. And also understanding that oil correlates. So at first I was looking for bears on oil, but I was like, you know what? I started shifting my bias. When that CAD pumped, you see oil pumped right with it. CAD and oil trades correlated. So we had an oil pump. So really, if you didn't catch the initial pump, you see, boom, right here, you got a bullish engulfing pump above structure, right? So if you didn't catch that, catch the pullback or the retest. So on that pullback, on the retest of structure, that was your entry for the buy. Price continued up. If you do draw your fib from where it started to pump, let's say from here, price pulled back about 61.8%, right? So enter around there. You can even look on a smaller time frame, like the 15-minute. It formed a double bottom pretty much. But enter around here. All right. At least I would have expected price to definitely stay above the bullish engulfing. All right. And from there, it rose 128 pips. 128 pips, but possibly can go even further going into next week and just continue up. All right. So these are the pairs that's on my watch list going into next week. Be sure to like and subscribe if you're new here, and also check out the Telegram. I drop free projections consistently. You know, every once in a while I'll throw a signal out there. But if you are, of course, if you are looking for mentorship and, you know, looking to tap in with the group and the Discord and the training and everything, be sure to tap in at the fxwave.com. Everything will be in the description. I hope you all got value from this. And, you know, let's be patient and let's catch some pips next week, because I know the opportunity is going to be there. Y'all be blessed. Peace.